Responding to Brexit, the Creative Union's exhibition at CSM examined the theme of dismantling borders in art and design.
I was looking at conflict resolution and how design could kind of work for that, because one of design's best traits is empathy. So I decided to look at invisible cultural barriers. Just through the design process, found out that designing a board game would be an interesting way for people to talk about barriers that exist in London, but also to expose people's own barriers and misconceptions of other people here. It's quite funny what a board game can do for such a serious topic like conflict. Almost everybody's played a board game at some point or another. I'm not saying any conflict can be solved, but I can teach people some of the ways to figure out why a conflict has happened.
The board game Make It or Break It consists of 3 chapters: Wall Makers, Wall Breakers, Empathy City and Cooperative Communities.
If you get this metal pawn, you're the highest earner, concrete, second, plastic, third, wood, fourth. It kind of works like Monopoly, but the context is you've just moved to London and you want to do all of the things that you're expected to do until you retire. Depending on what colour you are, you can either earn more or less and pay more or less. You're concrete. Okay. If you roll a couple of turns.
In the game we played, Empathy City, players start out with different amounts. Throughout the game, which mimics real life, players can get sick, move house, get promotions and pay bills. It's an interesting experiment examining the pitfalls of poverty and class. Do the rich get richer while the poor get poorer? This is one of many questions the game provokes.
The whole point is just to see how different the journey is for different people. If they landed on get sick, they might not have 4 at this point because you go around a couple of times, and when there's a star like this, what's interesting about the get sick one is if there's a star like this, if you can't afford to pay, you can wait 2 turns, and that's like going on a waiting list for a doctor's appointment, you know? There's a star on university, so if you can't afford to go to university, it's pretty big, it's 12 units, you can just wait 2 turns. But if you can afford to go to university, if you land on promotion, you get 2 times the amount you were going to get on that one. You would get 2 times the amount in your new job. But then again, tax, only the 2 highest earners get charged half of their units. Lottery, anybody can win. And the whole point of the game as well is it's not who retires first, it's who retires with the most. There was this guy playing it and he was actually, I think he was metal or concrete, so he was doing quite well, but he landed on energy bill, and then he landed on get sick, and then he landed on move house, and then he landed on new job. He just like started laughing profusely, and I was like, what is so funny? And he's like, I've just moved to London for the first time from the north, and he's living in this warehouse and got this massive electric energy bill from the winter because there's no heating. And then he got sick, he got bitten by a dog and had these mad like bills for medication and stuff, and then now he has to move back to the north and find a new job. And it was just so funny how it related to him, because obviously it could relate to anybody, these things.
Yeah, there's a way you can link it.
But he said, like, you know, oh, it's just really nice to know that I'm not an absolute failure, and like this is really normal. It created a whole conversation for this game where everybody was opening up to each other, and like that's where the magic is. Yeah.